How's it going? Big shooters, heavy hitters, and long steppers. Dudecool Motovlog at it again. We got a new girl though, yeah! Got a new motorcycle today. I've been waiting on it for 3 months and it finally came in and I was finally able to get it. Got the 2017 KTM 390 Duke. Woo! Almost feel like I should change my name to Mr. Dudecool instead of Dudecool, but alright! I rode earlier and it's my first time riding on it, like riding it home from the dealership, so I didn't really want to like do the talking bit. So yeah, I just kind of rode without talking on the way home from the dealership. I think like the last minute or so of the footage got cut off because the last minute or so of the footage got cut off because I had videoed a lot of stuff from my New Zealand trip and I just hadn't moved it off of the GoPro camera, so I filled up the memory card. And so I lost like the last probably 2 minutes of my ride, which, I mean, that's not really that bad, but yeah, on that one I really didn't want to like do a whole lot of talking. I wanted to focus on it. I was a little bit like nervous. This is my first time with the girl, and this bike is a little bit different than my vintage Triumph. I mean, this thing is quite a bit peppier. The brakes are a lot stronger on this thing, which, I mean, that's nice, but at the same time, like, I'm used to having to like really like pull down on that brake lever, and like this one I give it like a little ginger squeeze and that thing's like, we're gonna stop. So yeah, it's a little bit different. Another thing that's interesting is that on this bike the shifter is on the left hand, like the left foot side, whereas on my Triumph the shifter's on the right foot side. So I've only had like 1 or 2 bad shifts from that though, but yeah, it's not too bad. It's just, you know, have to kind of rethink it. And then one thing that probably helps me a little bit is that I haven't ridden the Triumph in like probably a month or 2, like any long rides, because it's kind of been like acting rough and stuff, and so yeah, and I just, you know, haven't ridden it, so I almost feel like I'm coming into this as like a new rider a little bit. But man, this thing is like buttery smooth. Like, I mean, the Triumph, I mean, it has a lot of character, and I mean, when I ride the Triumph, and there's not a whole lot out there that's like cooler than a vintage Triumph, and so I mean, you have that going for you, but I mean, it's not the smoothest rider. I mean, you know, it's old and it shows its age. I mean, it definitely shows its age a little bit. And yeah, I mean, so, you know, as you get up to higher speeds, you know, it starts to vibrate a little bit, and, you know, it just feels a little unsteady. And so this one, you know, I haven't really had it up to like super high speeds, but it certainly does have a smoother feel, especially like in the lower. And so, I mean, that feels really nice, and it's just such a nice feeling bike. Like, it just like really light, and they call it flickable. And so yeah, I mean, so when I was shopping for a bike, I mean, and I've talked about this in previous videos, that, you know, I was looking for some, you know, I've been looking for, you know, a lot of things, and I could never really fully decide like what I wanted. And that was probably part of the problem, is that, you know, part of me wanted like a dual sport, part of me wanted something just kind of fun and all that. And so I ended up settling on this thing, but, you know, unfortunately it wasn't at the dealers yet, and so I had to wait a little while on this bird. But it has definitely been worth the wait so far. I mean, this is my second ride on it. My first day having this thing, and so yeah, it's been a good experience so far. And just notice that my bar camera is not videoing. I set up a camera on the handlebars to get video of me like from the handlebar perspective so it can see me, but that didn't seem to work. I mean, it looks like I haven't turned it on. I just noticed that, so try and find a spot to pull off here. See if I can pull off into this church parking lot here. There we go. Now we got that going. Oh, I just did I just tried to shift on the wrong side again. I got a little distracted. I'm here in, so I bought the Ascena system as well since the last time I've done one of these. So I'm listening to music right now. I wonder if the speaker's gonna pick up on that. I wonder, because like the microphone. I mean, because the mic's like right there in the helmet, along with the with someone's four-wheeler over there. The microphone's right in the helmet with the speakers. So I wonder if it's gonna pick up some of that background music. So you might get a little bit of a soundtrack to this ride. But man, it feels so good to be back out in the wind again. Like. And it was funny too, like I was really like nervous like riding it home, like I don't know why, like it just kind of, I think it, I hadn't ridden this bike before, and it's, it's been a little while, so I almost felt like a first time rider again. It was, I mean, it's kind of a cool feeling too, but yeah, so another interesting thing is that, so this bike being kind of like, I guess what they call them like naked sports. So this bike has a little bit more of a, like your feet are tucked back a little bit, and at first I was like, I thought I wouldn't like that, but I actually kind of do like it. Like, yeah, I thought it wouldn't be all about it, but it turns out I am kind of all about it, I guess. Turns out I actually like it more than I thought I would. But yeah, I mean, so far this has been, I'm enjoying it today. I mean, the ride home, first ride was a little bit nervous, but this one's been good. So I have this thing that I do, and it's kind of like a little superstition of mine where I pick out a song to listen to on my first ride. Like any vehicle I have, like the first thing I ride, or the first thing I listen to when I either drive the car or ride the motorcycle. And I didn't really get to do that on the Triumph, because I mean, obviously, like when I rode it was the first time like riding a motorcycle on city streets with the Triumph, and so I had just like taken my the beginning rider course, like probably I think 2 or 3 weeks before that, so I didn't have much time to really, I hadn't ridden any on the street, so, and I didn't have any kind of setup for like listening to music, so it was probably months down the line when I finally listened to a song. But the first song I listened to on that was Werewolves of London. Being it's a British bike, and that's one of my favorite songs, so I thought it would fit. So with the Duke, I was trying to find like that perfect song, because I mean that's, to me, it's kind of a superstitious thing, kind of a cool thing, like the first song you listen to on like your first ride. And so for me, I was thinking like, what can I do, and I was like, all right, KTM is from Austria, so let's go with something that like fits with that. And so I was like, all right, who are, is there any music that's like has to do with Austria or like Austrian musicians? And so I found, Falco, the guy that does like the Komazar and what's the other one? I mean, I listened to it on the ride. I should know this one because it plays in the name, the Amadeus one. And so I was like, well, that's pretty cool, but I mean, I need something. I mean, Falco would have been a good first song. Like either of those two songs would have been good, but then I was, looking at it and I was like, I realized that probably the greatest musician of all time is from Austria, that being Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And so I found a good Mozart song. It's Eine kleine Nachtmusik, which means I think a little night music, I believe is what that means. I should know, I'm learning German. But yeah, so listen to that. But I mean, that one is like 20 minutes long, and it would have dominated the whole ride, and I wanted to listen to other things as well, so I shortened that down to like 2 minutes, then threw a little bit of Falco in there, you know, got to put some Falco in there, good old Austria. So yeah, but that leads into the name of the bike, because I mean, you always got to name your vehicles. That's just, you know, for me, that's kind of a thing that I do. So I figure since Mozart is from Austria, yeah, I thought about like Mozart, but I didn't want to go with Mozart, so I was going to go with Amadeus, his middle name, but Amadeus is, of course, is a guy's name, and I want the bike to be, you know, have a female name, so I went with the feminine version of that, like, which is a Latin name, so it would be Amadea. So I have Maud as my old Triumph, and now I have Amadea. Amadeus, 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 Amadeus. There you go. Most of the time, people gotta pay for entertainment like this. Listening to music is so cool in here, though. I've got like the theme song to Blue Mountain State. Whoa! Not sure where I'm going down. We're going, baby, we're going. And this thing like zooms off the line. Starting to get a little bit dark out. Maybe I'll go down Atlanta Highway. This will kind of be a good good route to go for like when I'm commuting to work, because you know, this will be pretty close to the route that I will take on my way home from work. So kind of get a little Prelude, but not the Honda Prelude. Oh, Despot. How long has this been going on? Love that song. Got it playing in my ears right now. Good old Ace. Ace is the place. Got that nice vibe to it. It's just a good like cruising song, whether you're in a car, motorcycle. Yeah, I'm feeling so much more comfortable on this ride than I was my first ride. It's just got to get that first ride into my get that first ride down, and from there kind of ready to go. Woo! This thing is fun to ride. So much fun. I don't mind if you turn in front of me as long as you're gone by the time I get there, because otherwise it will not be good. Oh, probably should disengage my turn signals. Whoops. gear, baby. Still got 1 to go. On the old Triumph, I only got 4 gears. This one, we got all 6 of them. I still haven't hit 6th gear yet, though. One of these days. I mean, we're still in the early stages of this relationship with this young Austrian beauty. You gotta give it a little bit of time to percolate. You know, we gotta get comfortable with each other. You know, you gotta take things slow at first, and that's what we're doing here. No need to rush things. And that front brake just like grips. Things like, you are stopping. Are we going to be able to do this without having to put the foot down? Put your foot down! Whoa! Whoa. Got some Halloween decorations over there. Put a little bit of distance between me and this group up there because it looks like they like to stop suddenly. All right. Kickstand. Also a good song. Reminds me of the old Road Rash days. That's actually where I learned about Soundgarden, was from Road Rash. Wonder if that's angled right. I guess we'll find out. Trial and error. Tucking in. I'm just like, man, just loving riding this thing. It's just so friggin' smooth. I'm glad I waited. Like, I thought about some other bikes in the meantime. I thought about not getting this one, but I'm like, oh, this is the first bike I found that I really, really liked. Why are we stopping? It's the first bike I found that I really, really liked, so I'm like, nope, let's just wait for it. When it comes in, you'll be glad you did. And ladies and gentlemen, I am glad that I did. Dinosaur bones, oh yeah! Got a wacky waving man there. Alright, we'll go down into third gear. We're going slow for some odd reason. Car looks like it's got a tail, like some little black thing is hanging out from it. Probably can't see it on the camera, but there is something there. So yeah, I think I'll end it here. It's good to get back out in the wind again. Good to do the Dudecool Motovlog again. And remember, folks, ease up on the throttle and hold on to the bottle, but don't drink and ride. Oh yeah! Woo!